Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. Jackson and I are going to do one cast this evening. It is Tuesday the 19th of July. I'm down here above Monkey Island. Evidently somebody tipped a canoe down here today and they lost a few things. A couple of cell phones and a wallet, and I've been kind of looking around, seeing if I can see anything in the trees and up along the bank. And they've been running water for 2 or 3 hours, so there's no telling where it could be, but it just hasn't shown up yet, unfortunately. But while I was down here, I was going to go ahead and do one cast. And the best thing I noted to throw down here is one of the Signature Series stick baits. I believe this is the same one that Blake threw last evening. Might even be the same rod because I stole a couple of his rods. It is the Sculpin flavor 762 maybe. I don't throw these very often, so I'm not sure the brand, or not the brand, but the number. I'm gonna try it. There are a lot of wood ducks down here, and there's still some chicks around. That's cool. Like I said, I'm gonna have a little practice here throwing this, and there's a lot of grass down here too. In the water, floating around. So I have to dodge it. I'm sure I don't do it the same way Blake does. I have been gone for a couple weeks. Got a good friend that has a camp up in Alaska that I go to fairly often, in the southwest part near King Salmon, Bristol Bay area. It's on the Naknek River. I've talked about it before. And I was there for a couple of weeks with a friend of mine, Coy Howery, the first week. And then my son, Caleb, lives in Boston, joined me the second week with a couple of his friends. And the sockeye run is just finishing up. They have a very large sockeye run on the Naknek. The whole Bristol Bay area is one of the largest salmon producing areas in the world. And the Naknek is just one river that flows into Bristol Bay. One of the major rivers, but not the biggest river. So we caught a lot of sockeye. We all brought some home. We caught enough for each week for what we call a box of fish, which is 50 pounds. And we bring that home on the plane as an extra check-on. So I brought a couple of boxes home. Just a little under 100 pounds that we caught. I've not seen any follows yet. Along this bluff bank above Monkey Island is a lot of laydowns, a lot of trees. It's always good to throw around these trees because browns like to hide in and around these things. One of the state records caught, I think it was 1995, by Kevin Elfrink, was caught down here. And he caught it on a sluggo. I think it was around 25 pounds at that time. We catch our salmon with fly rods. The salmon move up the rivers along the shore. They follow the shore really close, kind of in a line. If we find places that where the water is faster over a shoal or something, and it kind of narrows, it makes them swim in a almost in a funnel. And we have a what we call a chuck and duck set up, and we throw a fly, or really you can use a bare hook, because all you're doing really is lining them. The line swings in front of the fish as they're swimming up, and the line will catch them in the mouth, and the line will pull tight. I think I just had a fish swipe at it, and catch them in the side of the mouth. That's the ideal place to get them. Of course, we do accidentally snag a few of those fish, and usually you can tell. You just break it off, and if you land it, you release it. It's got to be in that mouth gill plate areas, I think, is the rule. Now, there are other places in Alaska that allow you to snag salmon and to keep salmon. It's the only way to catch them, I guess, in those areas. And that would be in the Kenai Russian River area. So we do pretty much catch these fish, if not in the mouth, real close to the mouth. So it's a good fight. A lot of fun. I got a little one following it. And the first part of my trip, the small ones were coming in. They only weigh maybe 2 or 3 pounds. And then later in the run, later the first week and most of the second week, we had the medium to bigger ones come through, and they'll get up to 12 pounds, but an average fish should probably weigh 6, 7 pounds. They fight really, really good. They're a lot of fun to catch, and they are really good to eat. The river also has rainbows. Rainbow fishing wasn't quite as good as past years, but I did land a 28-inch rainbow. Caleb landed a 24, and so did Coy. But rainbow fishing was a little off. It was rainy and cold the whole time I was up there. We saw the sun 2 days, and it got up in the low 60s. Otherwise, it was mid 40s to mid 50s, and quite a bit of rain. I did hear a lot from everybody back here saying that I was going to die when I got home because of the heat. It hasn't been too bad. humidity has not been bad since that rain Sunday. I looked at only 40% today. That's why it's not foggy. Although it did get over 100. But the cool weather was very, very nice. Cannot complain about that. Got a lot of like stalkers follow this thing. Not seeing any big fish though. He uses 4-pound line. Throwing this bait. We fished for the rainbows primarily using my jigs, and I shipped some of my rods and 4-pound line. Just exactly what we use here for our trout rods. I use up there. They think I'm crazy up there fishing for those big rainbows with 4-pound line, but you know, if you take your time, you can land every one of them. Oh, that was a good brown. He was probably 3 or 4 feet underneath it, and he looked up at it. That's all he did. I'm gonna back out a little bit. He looked pretty big. What I really need to do is ship one of these boats up there where I can have a trolling motor, because they don't have any boats with trolling motors. They use oars. But I've been informed it cost about $4,000 to send a boat up on a barge. So I don't think I'm going to do that. We got to go to Brooks Camp on the Brooks River, Katmai National Park. Saw all the bears. Saw Otis. I've known Otis since I started going up there in 2006. Otis is kind of celebrity. There's a fish. Kind of a celebrity, I guess, since the bear cam at Brooks Falls started. I think he was voted Bear of the Year the last couple of years. He's a very old bear, very big. He's the dominant bear, I think, of the group. But I was told that Otis is probably on his last season. He's lost all of his teeth except one. Oh, it's a rainbow. And when we saw Otis on the falls, I was just sitting there, not fishing. It didn't look good at all, actually. So I was a little sad. Let's see. But there were a lot of other bears. On the last day we fished on the river, we saw 9 bears. Excuse me, 9 bears. The group, we didn't see it, but the group saw a wolf on the river one day. And somebody got a real good video of a big old bull moose, excuse me, that was also on the river just across from our camp. That was cool. We did not have any bears walk up on us while we're fishing. I tell people that was a little disappointing. You can't tell a good story unless you have a bear walk up on you while you're fishing. We had them across the river from us, which the river is not as wide as it is here. Up where the camp is, of course, it gets more narrow as you go down river. We came up on a bear that was swimming across the river. But the bear in this area do not care about a person in the least. He is there looking for fish. If he sees you with a fish on, he might come see you. And if he smells fish, like the fish that you might have on your stringer, we put them in ice chest, he might come and investigate, but he's not, up to now, he has not been bold enough to come take our fish away. Of course, we can jump in the boat and get away from him if we have to. Couple more casts. I am so sorry. Stupid. I'll look a little bit longer for that package that supposedly got lost with the phones and the wallet in it. That had a wallet, had a little fish swallow. Follow it. Get back up here where I can see. Almost down to the island. Last cast. Oh, I got through it in a tree. Okay, one fish, saw one brown. Thanks for watching. It's nice to be back. We will see you tomorrow.